Well, hey, Taurus. How about a little reading about what's going on with you from your metal dog here? I'm starting back in on this channel after taking a sabbatical. It's dark here and stormy, which I kind of like. You can hear the hummingbirds outside. And it's just about to rain. Anyway, I don't know what you can hear, but pardon any background noise or enjoy it. All right, I'm going to pull you a little advice spread, see what's going on. And we're going to begin with a sense of the overall energy for your reading. You get the King of Pentacles. This is a card of Taurus, here represented by this beautiful bull. King of Pentacles is about abundance. It's also about security. It's about that steady, grounded, earthy energy. And he's got quite the, I don't know, what do I want to say? His gaze seems very intense to me. So there's this real focus coming. Is that you or somebody around you? I'm not even totally sure I like the feeling of it. It's feeling, they think it's loving. It's a little hypervigilant. So are you being hypervigilant, or is somebody around you? There's all of this earthy, positive imagery in this card. But there is somebody who's really got their eye on you. Or you have your eye on somebody. Something like that. We'll find out more. And beautiful card underneath. We have one card, the Sun. The happiest card in the tarot. Again, there's a feeling of being watched or of watching. This mountain lion in this case. The Sun is about being authentic. It's about finding out what that authenticity is. It's almost like two beings looking at each other. The mountain lion, as representing the sun traditionally would be like this naked baby on a white horse with the freak flag flying. And so that's where I kind of get this nakedness, and the tarot can kind of point us in the direction of authenticity. The Sun card is about being happy. It's the happiest card in the tarot. It is the card of wish fulfillment. So this is what this is about. And we kind of have this stare off between this bull, which is Taurus energy, your energy. But then there's also this mountain lion. And the mountain lion's not coming into me as a predator of the bull. The mountain lion is coming into me as a bit defiant. I like it. There's two strong energies here. I feel like one is loving and the other is resisting. I don't know. I just go, the images kind of, in the moment, I just get little intuitive hits. So take or leave, whatever you think about that. And we're going to add some information to that. So I'm going to do a baseline reading and then I'll clarify. And this is a reading that I use all the time. It's an advice reading. It's going to first begin with what Taurus needs to release now. It's probably something you've been working on or something like that. The Prince of Swords. This is a curiosity and an open-mindedness. You may have been in this state for a while. It's a young energy. It's an innocent energy. It's Gemini energy. It's a very, like reading a lot of books and getting a lot of information. It's a beginner's energy. Curious and open-minded. So if you've been in that state, or if I don't know. It feels to me like you have been a beginner. And it's time to release that. Now it's time to embrace the Hermit. Yeah, this is very much the opposite. This is a mature energy. It's major arcana. It's Virgo energy. And if we are coming through Leo. I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me if I do that. It's just so sad that I had to repress that sneeze. Okay, the Hermit. The Hermit is major arcana. It's big grown-up energy. It's you going alone and reflecting on your personal history and what you've learned in that personal history, and basically honoring that wisdom. So it's very much a shift from, I'm a little baby and I don't know anything, to like, wow, I have really lived. I have really learned. I know who the F I am. And I was starting to talk about Virgo is this intellectual, earthy energy like Taurus. Organized, but it's definitely private, and it's really grounded. I'm seeing her holding the light here on the wand, which is always the kind of wizard figure in the hermit has a light and a wand. In this one, the light is shining in towards the future. Very often the hermit is looking backwards, because the traditional meaning of the reason the hermit is wise is because they've lived and they've experienced. So if you've been kind of feeling like a little baby and naive, something has happened, you're ready, it's time for you to come back into owning the authority that you have gained as a result of your real life experiences. So I like that for you. And then we're going to ask, this card is about what you are reviewing. We have Mercury now in retrograde. Usually when we think about Mercury in retrograde, we think about technology and communication going awry. But any time I see planets in retrograde, and Mercury is one of several, we've got big slow planets in retrograde: Saturn, Neptune, Pluto. There's one other. Oh, and Chiron is one of the little tiny planets out there. It is associated with the wounded healer, that we heal from our wound. And so all of these are in review, and they're reflecting on recent events. And that's what the hermit does, is reflect on the past. And if you think about planets moving very slowly around the sun, and then Mercury moves very quickly, and the retrograde is just from here, it looks like they're going backwards in the sky. So when we integrate it into a tarot reading, we think about what we're reviewing that happened in the span of these different planets' movement. They're going to review a certain amount of ground, and that will be like a certain number of months or weeks and things like that. But let's just generally say you're reviewing, and what is it that you are reviewing? You're reviewing the Magician. So this is a wonderful energy of having all the tools that you need to manifest the world that you want. This Magician is coming into me as another person. Is coming into me as one of these energies. Whichever one you identified with, there's another one. There's the Watcher. These two are watching each other. This Magician is the other. And this person, magicians are often positive, wonderful. The first card I ever got was a magician, and it's part of why I wanted to read the tarot. And yet it can be a person who's quite manipulative, who is using their tools to kind of trick you and manipulate you into giving them what they want. So this is what you're reviewing right now. I would say that there is a figure who you feel you're locked in this confrontation of gazes, like you're looking at each other. And this is the Magician. We'll clarify a little bit more about that. So that's what you're reviewing. And then the tarot wants you to know something that you don't know. Ah, beautiful. A soulmate connection. Suddenly very dark. I hope you can see this. I'll hold it in the light a little. But the soulmate connection, maybe if I move this light, that's better. Okay. So 6 of Cups. It's a card about nostalgia. It's about the past. It's about inner child work. It's about remembering how it felt before your heart was ever broken. That you gave without defenses to your other, to your friend, to your equal, the person that's the same size as you. And look at this magical ship being driven by butterflies. There's a lot here about transformation in the butterflies. There's a lot about creativity and imagination. So there's a soulmate connection here that you don't know about, that the tarot is telling you about. It may be somebody from your past returning. It could be somebody that it just feels like your kids together, and it doesn't have to be a lover. It can be a true friend. It can be a relative. But there is a relationship here that brings out your undefended heart. Like, that's something I learned in yoga. That they're the unstruck place in my heart that I associate with my heart. There's a place in me that doesn't remember, that has never been hurt, and that I can draw upon to thrive. And so that's what this is speaking to and reminding you of. That if you have forgotten the gift that you are comes into me, remember that. And the tarot is a very loving communicator, and that's what that's the message that the tarot has for you. Now, your future could be, of course, there's free will, justice. This is Libra energy, so that's the season after Virgo. But there she is. She's balanced on the truth. She's got the cups are equally balanced. This is very much about being balanced. Very powerful major arcana. Again, it could be a legal situation. Yeah, she's holding it up. At first it looked a little bit like a handcuffing situation to me, but what I actually see is that she's quite strong. She's strong enough to hold that up. And she's quite balanced on that sharp edge of the truth. So it looks like, although there's this sweet, childish energy, we're getting a lot of like strong characters meeting eyes, and then definitely you moving on from this relationship to the truth, which is your release to this in the future. After you go through this solitude, in which you really work through the past experiences to understand your wisdom, your insight, the light that you carry within you. Instead of looking outside for that, to look within you. And I think this speaks to that as well. Ooh, a little thunder. I bet you heard that. Okay, underlying energy for this line. A few cards here. So there's this feeling in your reading here about youth, about being young. It's a page energy. And of just sort of innocently offering your heart, the cup. And then there's this beautiful star energy. This is card of Aquarius. We can see 1 foot in the emotions, 1 foot on land, just pouring your feelings out. This is really a card about wish fulfillment and healing, divine support. And what else? Then we have some disappointment, a 4 of Cups. I love this 4 of Cups in this deck. It's a really interesting card. First of all, there's just this weird space out here. You're like on this planet. It's not even a globe. There's the 4 cups. 3 of these cups are disappointments. The 4th is always a new love, a new opportunity, an emotional offering, like an Ace of Cups. And that can be divine love, self-love. In this image, the person has moved beyond the ho-hum, been there, done that energy of a 4 of Cups into actually watering this lone rose on this barren planet. And then we have, again, this strange thing that's coming up in your reading of being watched. Oh, the thunder's coming again. Lightning just flashed. Well, I guess that's far away. Here it comes. Awesome. Yes, when I look at this underlying energy, I again get this feeling of being watched, but this is much more about you moving away from and really not even paying attention to that watcher energy. which thinks it loves you, all right? And then I feel like you're the mountain lion that's like, no, I need to be myself. So this is really about you offering your heart in this youthful, innocent, naive way to this ideal that is the star, which is it's wish fulfillment and healing. So there's a need to heal here. And then you take that same cup, right? So like we see you as this page energy with the cup. Then you take that same cup and you water this rose on this barren planet. It's a very optimistic, hopeful energy. It's like you're dedicating yourself to this emotional, to being this emotional gift. And I see it again and again now. At this point, there's enough cards on the table where I can see that cup, which is your heart, that you are seeing it as the gift that it is. And that's fantastic. Okay, so let's clarify. I'm going to use, speaking of the traditional deck, I'm going to use it. It just speaks so very clearly. Okay. We're just going to get 3 cards for each of these baseline ones and see what else comes up here. So, you're releasing, what I feel like you're releasing is this kind of naive, beginner, hopeful, curious energy, which is lovely, and you're moving into being the mature self that you are here. We can really see you moving towards that. Okay. So, Prince of Swords. So we have death, transformation, card of Scorpio. In this card, I feel inclined to I never really look at death because I'm a Scorpio, and so then can you see the child here? It's the child of the 6 of Wands. And then there's a Pope, which is like tradition. The sun is rising, so you can see the sun card there in the background. The Hierophant, that speaks to the traditional. So there's like this transformation of this very traditional life and the importance of a child in this image, or of children. So that's interesting. I just felt called to look at that. And then you have a new beginning, the Fool, the leaper of faith, traveling light. There you are again with the white flower, just like in your 6 of Cups, the little white dog. The feeling of the Fool card is absolute faith, just jumping off a cliff. Others are going to watch you doing this and they're going to think you're maybe being crazy and reckless, but you're just going for it. And it's a lovely beginning energy. Then on the table, the Fool is walking right towards the transformation that is death. And it's in the past. It's going backwards on the table. And then we see work, new mastery. It's not going to be your job, I don't think, in this reading. We have not had any indication that we're talking about your career. We're talking about, in a kind of open way, the past something's happened. You're reviewing it and learning from it and letting it mature you, and you're kind of going forward from it with this hopeful heart. And the 8 of Pentacles it's the card of your job, but there's also the card of work, and that sometimes when the Fool takes off on a journey, kind of naively, like this prince or page of swords, and encounters the sort of terrible and yet transformative power of death, it's going to set you down to do some work, to gain some mastery. It's a rough lesson here. And that's how it's appearing to me. And it's moved you out of being just a baby, I want to say, into being a person that maturely reflects upon what happened. So let's find out more about this hermit. You really got wisdom from this encounter with death as a fool. And it set you to work, which is great. A lot of people don't do the work. I kind of expect Taurus to do the work. Your fellow fixed sign. Okay, this is a decision. You got two ideas. You got disturbed emotions, the ocean behind you. That represents, this is a difficult decision. You've put on a blindfold. This is because you're going to listen to your own insight. It's under the moon. It's a very intuitive state of being. And there you are again, riding forth with your heart. The classy love offer of the Knight of Cups. So that could be one choice, and the other choice would be the Six of Pentacles. There's more here about generosity, giving, practical, earthy energy of a rich person. It's not a dilemma. It shows me that you have actually made a decision from whatever happened in the past to ride forward with your heart. We see this cup that you ride forward with. And there's a sense, though, of that the Six of Pentacles brings in, of you're being generous with what you've learned. The work that you've done has paid off. And now you're like a rich man that gives to poorer people. I never really loved the Six of Pentacles because it's a very hierarchical card. I want an egalitarian society without charitable giving needed. But in this context, this is talking about your clear sense that you have a gift to ride forward into the world with. And I would agree, we all have a gift, and when we can know that, we're pretty solidly grounded on our feet and able to actually give ourselves the gift of ourselves as well. So this is this review, right? There's this magician. He came into me as an outsider, a kind of manipulative person, somebody that was making the world that they wanted, perhaps trying to manipulate you. I love the magician. I think I already said this, but it's feeling like that stare down. It feels like this stare down energy. Now, if you've been acting that way, if you've been the person that is sort of like really hyper vigilant on somebody and really trying to get them to do what you want, so you can always read against the tarot reader's grain here. There's your Six of Cups. That is that undefended love. I already talked about it quite at length. Here is the traditional image, and we got this for what the tarot wants you to know. All of the pieces, inner child work, soulmate connection, nostalgia. And then the Sun. There's that happiest card in the tarot I talked about. There's your naked baby. This is interesting. And the King of Pentacles, which is so we're getting a lot of repetition here. These are beautiful cards, and I want to kind of give us permission to read this. So you're looking back, you're reviewing, right? This is our retrograde energy. I'm no longer commenting on the storm that is thundering out there. Hopefully the lights don't go off. This is really beautiful, but there's just something off about it. And I'll be the first to admit, the King of Pentacles, I call him the security king. He's kind of boring to me. I have this energy in me, and it's part of what I have to kind of own about myself. And but this is all this. There was this beautiful dream. It seemed like happiness embodied. It seemed like security. And so when you look back on this magician, I would say that although they come into me as not a positive thing. They're also the reason why you got sort of drawn into their power is that they used all of these tools on you. They used play, and they used the sense that you could be yourself, and then they used security to manipulate, to try to manifest the world that they wanted. And so anyone, even a really, really healthy person would get involved with this kind of fantasy. It's a beautiful fantasy that this magician kind of spun up and hustled you with. Yeah, and underlying energy is that this is actually how it felt. It didn't feel good. It got you fucked up in your head, insomnia, anxiety. It didn't feel good, even though it really looked good. Okay, so the tarot wants you to know something about the Six of Cups, which is a part of this dream. So we have the Sun and the Six of Cups here twice. Remember, here's where we saw the Sun. Okay, Six of Cups. What the tarot wants you to know. It's always my favorite card, actually, in this spread. Okay, you have the truth and you're riding into battle with it. You're thinking a lot about the past. You're with anger. Oh, there's that player energy of the Knight of Wands. Also riding into the past. Chasing the Knight of Swords. And then a burden. You get to quit your job. You get to put this burden down. Wow. So you have like this beautiful ideal of the Six of Cups. So what the tarot wants you to know is that that was a part of what the magician seemed to offer. Then we actually end up seeing you chased. If you're the Knight of Swords being chased by this Knight of Wands, and then the dream becomes a burden. It becomes a trap. Because you might keep going, well, that was so beautiful. Why did I run away from that? And if you're being chased by this Knight of Wands, he's not the classy love offer. This is the classy love offer. This is the promise of the Six of Cups. This is you. But this person, this player, passionate, rash, quick, really great sex kind of energy, that, but it's not a good commitment. It becomes a burden. And then we just see, you can put the burden of this dream down. It wasn't what it appeared to be. That's what these two, the Magician and the Six of Cups, when we clarify them, we're seeing why you fell for this magician, and then we're also seeing that they gave you this dream that you're having trouble maybe setting down, something like that. But then the tarot says you can put it down. You've finished with this. You've exerted your will. You've done all the 10 wands cycle. You're done with that. You can quit now. Okay, so in the future we see you, and sometimes for me the future is really just tomorrow. And sometimes it takes longer. It could be Libra season, which is after, in a couple months. But let's see. The future is justice. All right. King of Cups. Emotionally intelligent. Doesn't talk about his feelings. Scorpio energy. You have all the cups. You are coming in here as a Page of Cups, the Fool, and then maturing to the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups, perhaps. Oh no, we have a Queen of Cups. We have a love match, a balance. Two people deserving of one another, equally emotionally intelligent. It's very much about the way that the Justice card can sometimes be a Two of Cups. The two hearts that are matched in the tarot. That's pretty cool. in the card of Judgment, Ascension. When you live your life right, you get to move on to the next level of the video game of life, Judgment. It's pretty cool. I don't think it's an immediate future. I think it is what you get when you go forward like this, here, with your heart. We see this on the table with you watering this rose on this barren planet. I feel like that's your heart, that little rose. And so when you get into the future, having done that, despite what looks like, the fool ran into death and got transformed, and then you had to do some work, and you did the work, and the work meant that you're able to just go forward in this beautiful way. And what we see you in the future is in a balanced, mirroring, mature, emotionally intelligent relationship. It's like you have achieved the next level, and that is fantastic. I'm happy for you, Taurus. So one card underneath, I think it's a little caution. Not a bad one. It's a 4 of Pentacles. There is the possibility with your earthy practicality that you might end up being a little too controlling, trying to hold on to what you have, and out of fear not taking this leap. It feels just like a tiny fear. Like if you come up against control stuff, just remember that is a small world view. You could have 10 pentacles. 4 is just, it's, I feel like it connects to this. Like even at 6, you have enough to give away. But if you're grabbing hold of these 4, then, so this is, anytime you go forward with your heart, you have to take a risk. You can't be controlling. You can't be overly practical. And it's interesting because now by the end of this reading, what I see here has changed, right? These two seeing each other, staring at one another, right? They can come in the future as this pair, this matched, mature hearts. Justice. It's like, I feel like justice is like, speaks to me of, what's right for you, what you deserve and there is this card of Judgment. You earn this, you ascend to it. The reason you ascend to it is because you've lived your life right. And that, my dear Taurus, is a really interesting reading just for you. I hope this helps. If it doesn't have anything to do with your life, catch me on the next run. Fun to be doing your cards again. All right. Have a great day.